not enough. And I just remember the gravity, the absolute magnitude of him walking across this field of flowers. He starts to kind of intimate that not only is it not enough, but that they have something more, that something more is there. And he finally says that she doesn't know death. Tiamat, their enemy, doesn't know death. And so they need to introduce the concept of death to her. She couldn't be killed. She is basically a supernatural being, if we're being honest, that was incapable of death because it was not even part of her life cycle. Imagine if someone walked up to you and handed you a pillow and they said, you need to make this pillow boil. And a pillow is not a liquid. In order to make it a liquid so that it could boil, you would have to introduce some other elements, right? But from a conceptual standpoint, you can't boil a pillow. And that's exactly how it was with Tiamat. From a conceptual standpoint, you could not kill Tiamat. You could not give her death. So they brought the embodiment of death to her. Absolutely incredible moment. I have watched that scene probably 100 times now, and every single time I get chills still. So this was a huge deal for me. It was a huge deal for me. When chat told me that First Hassan's banner had been announced, one, it was way early, we were blindsided, but I could not believe it. We probably spent 5 minutes just debating back and forth, me saying no way, and them saying, yeah, it's been announced. So finally someone gets me a link. It shows the banner, it shows the dates, and there is this like collective realization. And the realization is that this is before the 11 rolls. It's before the increased SSR rate. And I had this sinking feeling in my stomach. Just this like deep pit in my stomach that was like, that could matter. But I have to try. I can't not try. This is one of my favorites in the game. He has not had a banner since then, to my knowledge. So I had to try. One of my absolute favorites. I had to, you know. But it was terrible. Honestly, it was pretty terrible. I got up to 1,200 St. Quartz with no First Hassan. That is a lot, as you could probably imagine. It's a lot to go through without getting the servant that you are going for, the character that you're going for. We didn't even get a 5-star. Not even an SSR in that amount. And I was upset. I mean, I'm the kind of person who definitely wears their heart on their sleeve. I'm very transparent when it comes to what I'm thinking and feeling. And that's honestly to a fault, but it's not something I'm ever going to change. I don't really care to. And that night was no exception. You know, we hit the 1,200 mark, and give or take. And I'm like, I can't, keep doing this. This is irresponsible of me to keep throwing money into a pit for a character that it doesn't matter how much I like them. The very system that I am participating in to try and get this character is simply not conducive to continuing to do what I'm doing, right? Which is just like trying and trying and trying and trying, spending and spending and spending and spending. And I don't know if I'll ever forget. Maybe it's easy to say I'll never forget, but I have not forgotten so far, and I hope that I never do. But a donation comes through. One from Dobix, person by the name of Dobix M, and the other from a Tsukima Valrai. But it was enough to where that 1,200 became 2,000. 2,000. At the 1,800 mark, I finally got an SSR. It was Napoleon. It was Napoleon. It wasn't even the one we wanted. So 1,800 SQ. We finally get something in the 5-star class, and it was not even the right one. It was Napoleon. Another 200 goes by, 210, I think. At this point, I'm very upset. I feel terrible. I feel terrible. And the reason I feel bad is because, and this is a unique problem that I'm glad not like everybody is gonna like have experience with, right? But I felt guilty. Because these people donated. And I didn't get the character that they donated for. I felt really bad. I wished that I could refund their donation. Like, it would not have been a popular move, and I probably would have been stupid to even try it. But that's the thoughts that were going through my mind as I'm sitting there on camera. Heart on my sleeve, face on the camera, just wilting, right? Just feeling like shit, just feeling terrible. But finally we hit the 2,000 mark, and I can't call it relief. I don't know what to describe it as still to this day. But to call it relief would be probably too easy of a term, if I'm being honest with you. Probably too easy of a term. But we finally get him at about the 2,000 mark. 2,000 mark, we finally get him. I was thankful. I was thankful, obviously. But it just, I don't know. It just kind of, it kind of changed a lot of things about how I view the game a little bit, but mostly how I view, like, what it means to have a community on Twitch. I had no experience whatsoever with Twitch before I started streaming. I've had some good experiences while streaming. I've had some bad experiences. I've met some great people, and I've met some really toxic shitheads. But that night, I don't know what it was, but there was just this, like, this gravity between something heavy in my chest and this scrolling box of words called chat. I don't know how to describe it, and I know it sounds dumb, but there was just this, like, it was like a moon's orbit. Like, they were this beautiful planet, and I'm just kind of circling around them, unable to go anywhere, even if I wanted to, absolutely captivated by this new set of emotions that I've never felt before. This, I don't know, combination of guilt and relief and, gratitude, and also just a wide variety of other things that comes with sitting there on camera, not doing what people paid, to do, right? So I know the feeling, I do. And luckily there was enough left over on the donations for me to try for NP2. I did spend some more about a week later. And it took 3,000 total St. Courts. Right around 3,000 to get NP2. Which is what I have to this day, NP2. It's the weirdest thing. I cannot look at First Hassan without feeling a lot of those emotions come back. I can't look at him or use him in battle without feeling a lot of those come back. And that's not a bad thing at all. It's not a bad thing at all. I feel still to this day, when I put him in a lineup to use him in battle, the gratitude. I do. I remember that night. Every time I look at him or I use him. I still feel guilty as well. I'm not going to lie to you. I do. I don't know that that'll ever subside. It's probably just part of who I am. So I know the feeling of tonight and the last few days for Danny, and I know the mix of emotions that can go into it. And although it sucks, I gotta say, I am just so pleased. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to see that it wasn't an anomaly.